What's the deal? It's the first episode of 323 Thursdays, and we have a Morehouse College commit on here, Taj Gregory, quarterback, played at Fullerton Junior College last year. So he's my first guest on 323 Thursdays. Welcome to the show, Taj.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great having you on here. Now, I will say that the headline on your commitment was 6'8" quarterback commits to Morehouse. You know what I mean? I'm a little standoffish on the tall quarterbacks. You know what I mean? The Brock Osweilers, you know what I mean? Those type of guys, I'm a little standoffish on. So when I first heard it, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But after
Yeah.
watching the tape, seeing your career, you know what I mean? I'm actually excited for Morehouse. Were there any like role models that you were looking up to growing up, being a tall kid playing quarterback?
Yes, definitely. Someone I looked up to a lot was Randall Cunningham, Cam Newton. Cam Newton was probably like, I'm watching every game, everything with Cam Newton. I'm watching the podcast. Also, I like Tyrod Taylor. He's not a taller quarterback, but he's just someone I still look up to.
Right. Because that was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, so who is he watching? Who is he mimicking his game after? Cam definitely is that big quarterback, 6'6", 260. You know what I mean? That was the headline for him. Was football your first sport, Taj?
Football was my, well, I'm football was my first like organized sport. So I would like play basketball and stuff like that in the neighborhood, but playing like organized sports, football was my first sport. I started playing football in about fourth grade.
Mhm. Nice, nice. And then being in Texas, you know what I mean? I gotta assume football is a major sport going on, right? Like that's the happening event.
Definitely. So I was originally born in Phoenix, Arizona, and then
Uh,
I moved to Houston when I was in fourth grade. So I feel like just being in the atmosphere and just being in Texas just drove me to play football.
Something about it, man. They're really big on their football. And then at quarterback, ended up at quarterback. How was that? Did you just take the rock when everybody was playing on the street? And was like, I'm playing Q today. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how it was. It was kind of just like an alpha move, just I'm the quarterback. So it was just like that's just how we kind of like me and my friends. That's just kind of how it all worked out.
yeah, nah, man. It's always got to be a quarterback in the group. It's got to be one dude that like tackling, and it's got to be somebody that can catch.
Yeah,
If
that
you don't
guy
have
that
that, right? If you don't have that, you can't win on the streets. Don't work.
definitely.
So even talking more about your height and throwing the 5'9" receivers, slot receivers. You know what I mean? What's that like? Throwing mechanics wise, have you had to change anything because of that?
I mean, early out, like starting off, it was a struggle, but now it's just something like that I'm used to. It's like everybody is going to be around the 5'9" to 6 foot um, height, so it's just something I've gotten used to, and just not really a big.
Nah, I mean, you look like it out there. You know what I mean? Especially the way you move. You move very fluid for a taller guy, and seeing you out there, it's pretty majestic, honestly. You know what I mean? And you talked about being, the alpha leader and stuff like that. A lot of coaches want that on their roster, right? You want that alpha quarterback. That guy's going to take control, take the reins, and really push the program forward. So with Morehouse, they come in, they bring you in, and to me, to be honest, it seems like they're getting more serious about football. What does this Morehouse, this new era, really mean to you?
So it means a lot to me. So, Morehouse. I've always liked Morehouse. My brother, he actually, well, not my brother, but someone he's my brother, but we're not blood, if that makes sense.
I
So
got a lot of them.
he went to Morehouse out of high school. So I've always known about Morehouse, and it's been a big school. It's just the football program hasn't always been where it could be. So
Right.
just talking with the new staff and just hearing the plans that they have and things like that really made me excited and made me think that this could be a good opportunity for me.
Right. From the outside looking in, what Coach Gerard Witcher's doing down there in Morehouse looks very exciting. What were some of the things they talked to you about in recruiting you to get there? What was going to start changing at Morehouse?
Well, they're just talking. Well, the biggest thing that Coach Wilcher told me was that he wants to raise the floor. So instead of raising the ceiling onto where you can go, he wants to raise the bottom. So that was his biggest thing, and that made a lot of sense to me. And just talking to him about the things they want to do on offense and the new offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach just had me really excited.
Right. Yeah. Now your offensive coordinator is pretty distinguished. Especially as an offensive line coach too. What he does in the trenches is pretty good. But even with his teams at Stetson, they've led their conference in passing before. You know what I mean? They're throwing for 2,200, 2,500 in 10 games, 11 games. What is that? Is that promising for somebody like you?
Definitely, definitely. I feel like that'll be something great to experience in the SIAC.
Right. So then, even speaking about the SIAC, you did have a previous stint down at Benedict, the past champions of the SIAC. Do you speak on this? Do you speak on any of your time down at Benedict with the Tigers?
Yeah, my time in at Benedict, it was good. I made some lifelong friends at Benedict. There's some really truly great people there. Um, just things didn't work out, and I just wanted a change. So that's when I decided to go to the JUCO route and go back to the SIAC.
Right, right, right. So even I'm pretty sure you may have even known some guys on that championship team last year, right?
Definitely, probably everybody. Everybody, man.
Wow.
And there's really like no. I understand why they wanted. Like the guys on that team, they really bought into the system, and they wanted it more than anything. So it made sense why they were able to be successful.
Right. So even like at Benedict, we'll get into the junior college route and get into the California part. But even before going to Benedict, even coming out of Texas, right? You came out like maybe a year before Andrew Body, or like the same year as Andrew Body, and you also had an offer from Texas Southern, a couple other SWAC schools. What
Yeah.
was
So
that like? Yeah.
originally, my senior, well, in high school, I was recruited fairly well. I had a lot of like SWAC schools and just other schools like that. A lot of Division I schools who offered me scholarships. In my senior year, I ended up getting hurt in a scrimmage. I broke my left clavicle. So at that point, I ended up losing all of my Division I scholarships. So I decided at that point to I went to a junior college. I went to Trinity Valley Junior College. I was there for a semester. After a semester, I ended up still having relationships with Division I schools, and they were aware that I was healthy again, so they gave me another opportunity. So at that point, I picked up several other Division I offers, and then the thing is, when I was going to enroll in the the semester after the fall, so the spring semester, and they ended up not accepting all of my credits. So I ended up having to go back to finish the last semester, take all the right classes and things like that. Because the thing is, with when you go to junior college, not all the time they really care about you getting out of junior college, if that makes sense. So
Right.
there were certain classes that I needed to take. Although I was a qualifier, I still needed certain classes to be eligible to, enroll into a school at the semester. So at that point, after the spring semester, I was going to go to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And at the offensive coordinator, Coach Barry, he ended up leaving to go to Benedict College to be the head coach. So that's when I
Right.
was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy how that works. And I mean, I think you probably heard the term all the time, being a qualifier in junior college. If you're a qualifier or non-qualifier, basically if you can leave that semester, you have enough credits to leave, and they'll transfer over to the next Division I school. So it's always interesting to see how guys get towards the end of their recruiting process. Sometimes guys can just bounce out, or sometimes guys might have different hurdles, like how you was talking about. Uh,
Right.
or even at Benedict, then you go back to junior college from Benedict, right?
Right.
So now you come to Cali. What's your second stint in junior college like? Because I know from the first hand experience, you're probably like, man, I don't want to do this again.
Right. So okay, so just the junior college in Texas, it was a lot different than the junior college in California. So I ended up going to junior college in California, really just to be closer to some of my family and things like that. My big sister, she actually was living in LA. She had been there for 6+ years. So it would just give me an opportunity to be close to my family and still play football and go to school. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's nice. Not even having family around. So how much family was around other than your sister?
Well, so my sister was around, but my mother and my twin sister, they live in Arizona, so it wasn't too far from California. So I was able to see them a lot as well too. And before then, I wasn't really able to see them because I was in school in South Carolina across the world. So it meant a lot to me to be able to be close to my family.
Yeah, I mean, it's super dope. You know, being from California, I'm from Inglewood, California. So even being from California, uh, you always see guys from out of state come into California, you know, play, get the scholarship, get out. But you never really truly understand the story of what they go through. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's about not having your family around, how it is playing with completely new faces you've never heard of before, and it's usually different. How was that transition coming into Cali and really getting on this Fullerton team? That's a pretty good football team.
It was actually amazing. So going to school in South Carolina, it was a lot of struggles just because I was on the other side of the world. I didn't really know anybody there, and not having family around. Like I'm a big family guy,
Mhm.
so it's just the opportunity to be with my family and my sisters and things like that. It really meant the world to me.
Super dope. It's nothing like having somebody in the crowd that's rooting specifically for you, and you know who that person is, right? Usually you can spot them. Um, and then another question is, why return to HBCU?
HBCUs, they have a soft spot in my heart. Like I really want to be with my people, our people. It just I just fit.
Right.
I think it was a tweet basically saying that you have the rest of your life to be a minority. So I was just, I did have a lot of schools. Like this time around, I didn't even post really my scholar. I think the only scholarship I posted, my scholarship offer was Morehouse. So I really didn't want to get into that because since I've been through this process maybe 3 times, I'm already knowing that like schools will offer you, and just because this school offered you, or just because this school offered you, like literally the whole SIAC offered me after Morehouse offered me. But
Wow.
like I just know how it gets along with other schools and things like that. So I just wanted to go to a school that truly wanted me, not because another school wants me or because of, you know, other reasons. So yeah.
Right. And I mean, even mentioning that, saying every other SIC school did offer you Benedict. What was a Benedict like? What was that called like?
Okay, so it was I ain't gonna get too much into it. It
Yeah,
was
you don't
just
have to.
yeah, it was just, yeah.
Hey, like, huh, let me slide this in there in case you're thinking about it. I mean, I don't know. Now it's funny. This offseason, I'm talking a lot about Benedict's quarterback situation. I like Eric Phoenix. I loved him as a player at Benedict. So him leaving, I know they're on the hunt for a quarterback, and being as other guy that you are, I can see that they might look at you and try to get a spot. But Morehouse came away with the prize. About any Mexican food? You have any Mexican food while he's out here in Cali that you like?
Every day, man.
Come on.
Every day I'm trying a new spot every day. I'm from Melrose to the taco trucks to everything, man. I fell in love with tacos, Mexican food and all.
Nice. Was there any restaurants you like in particular?
In particular. So I don't know the name of it, but there was this food truck downtown close to the crypto stadium. It was
Mm-hmm.
man, those tacos were amazing.
Nah, it's fire, man. Super. Because even when I went to school out of state, I didn't realize how good our Mexican food is. Till you go out of state and try to eat somebody else's Mexican food, like up in Ohio, and it's like, what the hell is this?
Where did you end up going to school?
I went to school at Hiram College up in Ohio,
All right.
about an hour from Cleveland. So it wasn't no Mexican food, man. A lot of food, a lot of Italian food. I'll tell you that. Gang of noodles, pasta, sauce. You know what I mean?
All right.
Uh, Morehouse. Back to Morehouse. Where did they particularly find you? When do you think they saw you? Did they come to see you in person, or was this like through tape, or what? How was
This
that?
this is the craziest thing how this all worked out. So Morehouse, so originally our defensive coordinator, he was recruiting me at his previous school since high school. So,
Okay.
I was thinking about Morehouse. Like I always liked Morehouse. I just wasn't, a super fan of what they've been, producing on the field. So, you know, I seen they got a new staff, and it just kind of sparked my interest. So one day I was literally I was flying. I can't remember where I was flying, but I ended up getting stuck in Atlanta. So I got stuck in Atlanta. My flight was canceled. So I'm like, let me just text the coach. I texted the coach, see how he was doing, things like that, and he told me to pull up to the school. So I literally took my bags from the airport, went to the school, just talking to the coaches and just hearing their plan and what they plan on doing this season. And at that point, I took some time to really think about it, and then that's what I ended up wanting to go with.
Wow. It was that in person interaction.
Yep, in person.
Huh. Hey,
Yep.
they got a good elevator pitch on me. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
They bagged you with a one liner, homie.
right. And it was like the whole staff was there, and I was able to
Wow.
talk to them, and also
Yeah.
able to go into the meetings with the offensive coordinator and a couple of the players. I was able to talk to, players, just ask them what the difference was between this staff and the last staff, and how they felt about going into the season. So that gave me a lot of insight, and that made me confident as well that they were confident.
Right, right, right. Nah, I completely understand that. When it comes to talking to players about something, you really get a good understanding of what the program is, where it's going, and where they think it should be going. Uh, when it comes to getting a new coach, a lot of times the players have a lot of input involved in that. So
Right.
even with those guys, some of the guys that you were talking to then, fast forward to now and talking to those guys, post spring game and things like that. Are there any players, what I mean, that you've been speaking to in particular when it comes to trying to get your bridge, right? Bridging your time from junior college back to Morehouse.
Right. Yes, I've been in contact with a lot of the receivers. We go to the field pretty much every day, so we're
That's
just
right.
talking, crafting, things like that, and they're excited. We're all excited. We see where we can go, and now we just know that there's work that has to be put in. So it's exciting knowing that if we take care of what we take care of, we trust in the coaching staff to do their part as well.
Right, right, right. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for you guys, especially when it comes to Morehouse. Like just Morehouse, the brand in general is so much stronger than a lot of other brands in this HBCU space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Biggest things for me too. Just the weight that Morehouse holds. If we handle our business on the field, it's like you said, the sky is the limit.
right, 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 right. So what's your favorite route to throw?
My favorite route to throw, I'll say maybe a corner route, a post. I mean, yeah, those are probably my favorite.
You like attacking them safeties?
I do.
Yeah, I can tell, I can see that right there. Because man,
Yeah.
on a nice post route, it's butt naked.
Right. Yep.
Okay. And then you've been invited to a
Yeah.
quarterback camp down at your school. Well, I want to talk about this quarterback camp hosted by your boy Quincy.
Yeah, it was definitely like, that was something I seen last year. I had a couple of my friends, that play quarterback for HBCUs. They were able to go to the event last year, and just talking to them, they had a great experience. So I was really excited when they called me and told me that they wanted me to be a part of their camp and their event. So yeah, so tomorrow I'll head out from Thursday to Saturday. So yeah, I think it'll be a great experience.
Nice, and that's going to be the quarterback retreat for HBCU players. It's going to be happening pretty soon. And Taj, you know any other players that are going to be there? Like, do you actually like know them? In real life?
Um, I don't. So I know
Okay.
of a couple guys, just
Mhm.
from football and just some of the top quarterbacks in HBCU. And I have a teammate. So this year they're inviting receivers as well. So I have a teammate, Quiz. He'll be out there. But other than that, I don't really know anyone. So I'm excited to meet everyone.
Got it, man. I think it's going to be a super big event, just like it was last year. It's a great chance for really the general public and college football fans to see all these great HBC quarterbacks in one space. Hopefully, you guys can knock brains, talk a little bit about what y'all need to do and handle in the fall.
Definitely, definitely. We're all in this together, man.
For sure. Any closing remarks, Taj? Man, it's been a great interview.
I just want to thank you for having me. Big things will be coming out of Morehouse football this year. So hopefully you're tuned in.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it, man. Thanks for having me on, Taj.
All right. Thank you.